All right.
Welcome to the first episode of We Played to Nobody, the podcast
Oh my God,
that I came
yes.
up with at the beginning of the pandemic, and we're finally getting to in the middle of October.
It's classic.
All right. I'm Chris,
I'm JT.
and we both play in a band together and decided to start a podcast about terrible shows.
And playing to nobody.
Playing to literally nobody.
That's happened.
I'm pretty sure I've played more shows to nobody than I have played to people.
Same. Do you remember Arizona? I don't even remember what town that was, but it was like in a mountain and it was terrible to drive into.
I don't remember the name of the town. I remember we played
Me neither.
Yuma, and that's where we met Punk Bunny.
Oh my gosh.
But then the next night was the show that you're referring to, but I do not
Yeah.
remember.
We literally played to nobody.
That was where we saw that blimp.
Yes. Oh my God.
So since this is our first episode, why don't you introduce yourself?
All right. I'm JT. I play all kinds of different instruments, but mostly I'm a singer, songwriter. But
what
yeah,
band are you currently playing in?
I mean, technically, we're still the Dead Set because nobody knows about Glass Chandeliers, but the Dead Set is no longer.
We're just going through the motions right now.
Yeah, I mean, like the Dead Set started out as a project of mine, and yeah, it truly started out as a project just of mine, and then I added somebody, and then they stayed in the band for a while, but mostly I did a lot of the stuff solo, and it sucked. And it lasted for a super long time, and then you came in to save the day.
Now we're just starting a new band completely.
Yeah, because that's better, because you know what? Like it's kind of like kicking a dead horse a bunch, I think.
Yeah. And
it's
don't
like,
want to kick a dead horse. We're both
why are we
vegans,
kicking
we
dead
don't wanna
horses?
we don't want to kick a dead horse.
No animal lives were harmed in the making of Glass Chandeliers.
Well, I am Chris. I play in Glass Chandeliers with JT. I also play guitar in Some Rules from Seattle, and I've played in 700 other bands playing drums. And that's about it. I'm from Boston, live in Seattle now. JT lives in Vancouver,
Canada.
We literally cannot see each other because her government doesn't want anyone from my country coming into her country, which is completely reasonable.
I mean, at this point, it's like in Seattle and Vancouver, everything is the same. Everything is terrible here, and like nobody's really acknowledging it anymore. It's just really creepy and weird.
Everyone's just like going out to eat, hanging out with their friends, having parties.
Oh my God. The couple of times that I've gone to a restaurant physically, it's like outside on a patio, and I still feel so uncomfortable and terrible about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see people just hanging out inside.
Yeah. Close talking.
No mask. Yep. Oh, it's closed. Everyone's making out. Everyone's smooching. There's a giant orgy going on.
Oh my God. I'm like, why are you touching each other? I can't even watch a TV show at this point. It was even filmed like post or pre this, and people are like just touching like the same like table or area. I'm like,
you're gonna get
I'm like sick.
Well, on that note, what have you been doing to stay busy the last 7 months?
Oh my God. First, I just partied like this, exactly like this on Zoom.
Partied in your apartment by yourself with your
alone.
dog.
Yep. And my cat just being totally pissed and fucking annoyed and done with me.
Because all your animals are like, when the fuck do you leave?
They're like, this bitch never leaves now. We used to think that we wanted her home all the time. We don't. I'm a monster. I've turned into like a weird clean freak. So like, this is going to sound terrible, but like I worked so much before that I don't know how often I clean my towels and my sheets. But now I clean them every single week, and I have like multiple sets of sheets and like way more than multiple towels and stuff like that. But like I'm a freak.
I'm going to admit that pre-pandemic, I owned one pair of sheets.
But then you start to notice because now you're focused.
Well, now that we're not touring, now that I'm not traveling ever, now that I'm just working and going home, I have bought 3 different pairs of sheets that I rotate weekly.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. I
Like,
also bought a whole new bed set. Like I bought
oh
new
my God.
pillows. I bought like I'm sleeping much more comfortably than I
It's
was
so much
pre-pandemic.
softer.
There are two things that I think I'm trying to look at the positives of the pandemic, and there are two positive things that have come out of it for me. One is I sleep very comfortably. Like I have brand new pillows that I wouldn't have bought, brand new sheets that I wouldn't have bought. The
Didn't
second
you have
is
like one pillow before?
I did
Yeah.
two. Now I have four, and two of them are the most comfortable pillows that I've ever slept on in my life.
I bought 2 pillows during the pandemic too.
But the second positive thing is I'm not as bald as I thought I was.
You're totally not. I was going to say something earlier, but I was like, holy shit. I was
Well,
like, you got some hair going.
because I used to shave my head all the time. So in
Yeah.
April, I was like, fuck it. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to
Yeah.
shave my head. So I just started growing my hair out, and
It looks good.
this is what it is.
It looks good. I didn't think that you had that much hair. I never seen you with that much.
Me
I
either. I'm
only
new.
here.
Yeah. Also, this
Like,
is new. I have not had this much facial hair since when you saw me in February.
it's probably like the health. Honestly, I have more health, like even physically now, like than before. And I was running my body into the ground,
Mm-hmm.
working anywhere from 40 to 60 hours plus a week.
Well,
And then on top of that, working out 6 days a week. And now I'm working out 4 days a week.
but you're not
I
working yourself into the ground a million
no.
hours. Yeah.
And I'm more like just whatever. Like I'm not like super ripped right now, but like I'm not worried about it either because I mean like when you're just going, you have to keep going. So you're just like murdering yourself on purpose. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
still doing that, but like yeah, I made a vegan podcast or not podcast. What am I talking about? Such a
That's
liar.
what we're doing right now. We're
Yeah, I
making a
guess this is
vegan
also a vegan
podcast.
podcast. No, I made a vegan YouTube show
Yeah.
where I cook stuff. So that's pretty cool. I'm getting better at editing videos.
Yeah, I honestly think like as far as even the drum videos that I've been doing,
Oh
learning
my
how to
God, your
do
drum videos literally went from like 10, like 0 to 60, like so
yeah,
fast.
because the more that you do it, the more you learn how to
Hmm.
kind of navigate those waters, and it's interesting to to have time to teach yourself that, and also I don't know, just the whole thing has been kind of
It's crazy
interesting.
because the things that you think that they're harder, they're just not. They're just like out of reach because you don't have time. I barely had time to sleep
Yeah.
before, but now I just like sleep in and I'm like not super worried about it. I'm like, like I set an alarm just so that I wake up.
If we kept our same tour schedule that we had set for this year, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have done half of the camping trips that I did this year.
Oh my
I
God,
wouldn't have
for
gone
sure.
on any of the solo trips.
I wouldn't have finished 1.5 songs at this point.
That's also true.
Which
Well,
is crazy. But the only reason I'm taking so long too is because I'm like, well, what's the rush? Like,
well,
let me finish this and do it properly and do every part properly.
a lot of one of the things that people don't realize about being in a band is you're generally working a full-time job while also creating the art that you're creating.
Yeah.
So like playing show, even just playing one show takes a lot of time.
Oh my God.
Especially
Yeah.
when you're
Because you have
in
to
Vancouver
drive
and when
there.
you're in Seattle.
Yeah. You have to practice a
So
bunch and then drive there, do
yeah,
all the shit,
yeah, there's a
buy
lot of
food in
stuff.
between. You got to
And
like
you're
try to
also
live like a
working a
normal
full-time
person.
job. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that like I honestly have had more free time in the past 7 months than I've had in the last, how old am I? 31, 21 in the last 14 years of my life.
Literally, I was having a conversation with my mom being like, you know, I've seen some articles of people being like really pissed at us for taking time when you don't have a job. And they're like, well, why don't you find another job? I even posted like a few times like, hey man, like, you know, this is serious. Like you guys need to chill out and just stay home for a while. Like what's wrong with people? Like, I don't understand like why people can't just stay home. And then I had a bunch of comments going like, well, why don't you just get a job? And I was like, what? Excuse you? I've been literally like, at this point, I'm like, I don't feel bad for taking employment insurance. I don't.
No, you should never.
Because
that's
I've been
literally what
working
the
my
government.
life into the ground and now I can do stuff that I've wanted to do.
We're
I
not
earned
going to
this.
turn this into a political podcast because
No.
we're very pro-Trump here.
Oh my gosh. Fuck that.
But you
No,
should
but
not
like
feel
legit.
that's what the government is there to do. They're set up to provide for you. They're
Yeah,
there to
and
help you.
the insurance too, if I'm not mistaken, all of that is my money already. I
Hmm.
already paid that money.
Yeah. Oh my God. If I if I can only see the amount of taxes that I paid versus what the government has
Mm-mm.
actually helped me out with.
Yuck.
Oh.
It's bad
Anyway,
here too.
before we get into a political conversation, before this first
Yeah.
episode turns into a political rant,
Oh my God,
um,
no.
let's get back on track
Oh yeah.
and let's jump right into. I'm not good with transitions. Let's jump right into your terrible story,
Oh my
show
God,
story.
I have two. Okay, I'll start with like the more mild one that makes me feel like a little bit less uncomfortable.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you like the most uncomfortable one.
All right.
So the first one is, I mean, it's a pretty quick story because there's no other way to tell it, and I don't think I'm very good at telling stories. I always like will jump to like the beginning and the end, but maybe those are the most important parts. I mean, I don't remember where we were. I think it was in my Ready Set Die days, so it was a fucking like at least like 20,000 years ago. Um,
1951.
yeah, 1951. And we were playing in the Kootenays, which is like,
I don't know what that means.
I knew you were gonna say that. It's in the mountains, like in
That sounds almost problematic.
no, it's in the mountains. It was like I don't know. I want to say it wasn't Kelowna. It was somewhere near Kelowna, like the city.
I've worn some of that before.
Yeah,
When I was
you've
in
heard of
yeah.
Kelowna, right?
Well,
Yeah.
no, when I was in pre-high school, I used to put some Kelowna on.
Oh my God. Of course. So we're playing at some fucking like small place, and I was like in a garage or something. Like I
So
don't
a
know if
DIY show, the
yeah,
typical like
yeah, it wasn't like
we're
a
going
human
on
being's
tour.
garage. It was like a garage in like a back alley. Like it was like an auto body place or
Were you on
something.
tour?
Yeah.
So you were
And
not you were in
no,
an unfamiliar place
yeah,
in the
I have
middle of
never, we
nowhere.
had never played in that city before though. I knew
Okay.
that. But I had my period that day.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point in my life, not anymore for some reason, but my cramps were so debilitating that I couldn't stand up a lot of the time. Like
Not something that I've ever experienced, but
it's
something that
horrible. It's like having, I don't even know, like what to explain it to you. Maybe it's like having like really terrible food in your stomach. Like it's so bad now you can't stand up.
I've been bloated a few times, so
So I was like green and like white, like laying in the back seat. Like, I don't know if I can do this. And then they were like, I was obviously only in a band with dudes, and they were like, well, we have to. We drove here and we're here. And I was like, okay. And then I just like a miracle, stood up, played the show in complete agony, and everybody loved it. And then I went back to like laying down and almost barfing everywhere. That was like physically the most terrible show I've ever played
So
because,
you were in a band with a bunch of terrible dudes who didn't understand what you
yeah,
were going through.
uh-huh,
We're like, well, why don't you just be a dude and play this
yeah.
show anyway?
Totally. Nobody offered to go get me something like some sort of painkiller, anything. And at this point, I was still straight edge because I was like 23, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was crazy, and I was just like, this is fucked.
Was
And then
the
it just,
show good?
yeah, it was really good because I was so pissed. Because I was in so much pain, and I was like, and like at that point in my life too, like I didn't have like a lot of like queer people in my life or just like understanding people at all. And they were just like, just suck it up. And it was like, that was just like the motto of it. That's kind of still the motto of like just the audio industry in general.
Mm-hmm.
And people just think you can just suck it up and you're just making it up if you say you're sick. Like I'm pretty sure I had corona in January for a month, and I kept on getting like calls every 2 days, like you have to get another doctor's note. And it cost me like so much money to get these doctor's notes to prove that I was very sick. It's the same thing, but like, yeah, no, that was terrible, but embarrassing show, a different one entirely.
I'm more excited about this one.
Oh my God. So when I first moved to Vancouver, I didn't know anybody. I came here with my straight guy friend.
Mm-hmm.
We drove here. We shared an apartment, like not even an apartment. It was like a room in a house.
Edmonton. Not Edmonds. And this is in Washington.
No.
Edmonton.
No, Edmonton, yeah.
I said Edmonds, and Edmonds is a city in Washington.
No, Edmonton, which you call Edmonton. um, Alberta.
Hey,
But yeah,
don't
so
make
we
fun of
drove
my
here, and I was
American
with him,
pronunciations.
and yeah, and yeah, we were staying in the same room, and it was like I didn't like literally know anybody. So like he after the summertime he left, and I was kind of still like maybe I met like two people at this point, and they were terrible people. Like, and it was like when we had like flip phones, right?
Hmm.
So I mean, people were kind of texting, but not really. And so you would just go like, "Hey,
Back in the Stone Age.
like literally, like
Yeah.
you tell somebody like, oh, like I want to hang out with you on this day at this time," and then you just go.
Oh yeah. You don't.
That was a thing.
You didn't text to confirm that they were on their
No,
way
and so
and
like
that
I'd
they were
turn up
there.
and people weren't there, and I was like, people are garbage here. So I was like really trying at this point, really trying to make a connection and trying to be friends with people and stuff. And this one person I knew, I don't remember what their name is, and I don't want to say I remember what their old name is or their
We don't
dead
need their
name, I guess that you would call
names.
it. But yeah, anyways, I don't know now. I don't know them now. But they invited me out to because they knew I played guitar.
Hmm.
And they were like, well, come and play guitar for me while I sing the song at this gay bar, and then you'll meet some other gay people. And I was like, sick. I'd love to do that because I have no friends and I'm a loser. So I went,
And also, I'm gay as hell.
yeah, gay as hell. And then I was like practicing, and I was like, yeah, I got this. It was like that 4 9 Blonde song, you know, what's going on?
Oh yeah. Not
It's
easy to
super
sing.
easy, but
Not
it's
easy.
super easy to play guitar on.
Oh yeah, but
So
not
I was
easy
only going
to
to be playing
sing.
guitar for it, and that person was going to be singing.
Okay.
So and it was like a piano bar. There was like a piano there. I think it still exists, perhaps. I'm not sure. I don't really hang out in scenes or anything or hang out with people in general anymore, even pre-COVID. But yeah, I practiced it, I got it. It was like pretty easy to play, like whatever. I think it was like 2, maybe 3 chords, I don't know. Um and I got there, and I swear to you, like by the time it was up like my turn to go, like with this person, like I've learned to like overcome these things now. I was like traumatized because there were so many people there, and they were all like gay and fabulous and like cooler than me and like had
And
friends.
to be honest, there's something nerve wracking about playing. Like we've played a bunch of shows together where there's only like 20, 15 people there.
Yeah.
When there's a shit ton of people there, and no matter
Yeah.
how well rehearsed you are, no matter how many times you do, it is fucking nerve wracking.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Especially when they're all just sitting there looking at you, and like, and in that situation I was like, I'm feeling so judged right now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I have to nail this or else it's over. And I wasn't playing my own guitar, I was playing somebody else's.
Which also throws you out of your element
Yeah.
because
And it's
it's not what
acoustic,
you're
which
used
is,
to.
as you know, acoustic guitar is harder on your hands
Yeah.
to press down, and nobody has good action on an acoustic guitar.
No,
Get out of
especially
here.
if it's just like a shitty acoustic guitar that's
Yeah.
being passed on through a show. They don't
Unless it's
care
like
about that.
$3,000 or more, it's terrible.
It's probably terrible.
I literally had 2 strums in, and the fucking
Don't tell me
like
a string broke. Don't
the
tell me a
low
string.
E string broke. I've never been more red in my life. And at this point, like in my music life, I'd only played like really power chords and stuff. And I was playing open chords for this, and I learned open chords for this. And I was like, that's it. There's nothing I can do. But at this point I could have recovered. If it was me
What did you
now,
do?
I just I I stood there like like sorry.
Did someone
Now
give
this
you
is
another guitar? Did you finish the song?
no, but nobody had another guitar.
Please tell me you didn't finish the song. You just didn't play it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fucking awkward. It was the worst moment of my life. I felt like everybody hated me in the gay scene since then. It was horrible. I ruined that person's night that was supposed to be singing, and I also just like made a fool of myself because then everybody thought like that I was just a mental patient who didn't know what to do, or it sucked because like now I know that I could have just recovered from that and like re-amalgamated that in my mind. That's not even a word, but I don't care. You know what I'm
Even
talking.
that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I would have been like recalculating, and then I'd replay it like a different way. Maybe like I would have been able to recover nowadays. That haunts me though. That haunts me. I've
Well,
heard that song like randomly on the radio or just randomly at like a bar, and I'm like, like
well,
every
without even
time.
knowing that story, I'm glad that on the first tour we did, I made sure that you brought a backup guitar.
Yeah, have to. Have to. You know what's crazy is the amount of times that people in my old band tried to convince me that I didn't need a backup guitar, and I was like,
Oh
"Are
no, you
you
always do.
crazy?"
Even when even in the band that I play guitar in, whenever even if we play a show at the Kraken that's like 5 blocks from my house, I always bring a backup guitar because
You
I'm
have to.
nervous that I'm going to break a string.
Yeah, and you can't change it. Like I
No,
actually got really good, especially after that. I got really good at restringing my guitar,
like
like
on
within like
demand.
20 seconds. Like
But
boom, boom,
even
boom.
that,
Like,
even those 20 seconds when people are watching you do that super fast,
oh,
that
for sure.
that gets real weird.
It's super weird. And it's super uncomfortable. And you're just sitting there sweating and your hands are getting all disgusting and like, ugh, like
Yep. Yep.
cannot.
This
Worst fate ever. Cannot. Like those, that was
quick
probably the
side story.
worst.
So when Some Rules first became a band, and we did that little weekend where we did like with Bobcat, where
Yeah.
we did Seattle, Eugene, and Portland.
Yeah.
The last show in Portland, we were playing, we were like setting up and sound checking. I was tuning my guitar, and I was just tuning, and the low E string broke. Yeah. And I was like, all right, backup guitar. I busted it out. But I was like, if I didn't have this, I don't know what the fuck I would do.
I thought you were about to
Also,
tell me that that string also broke.
well, the backup guitar is
Yeah.
always the guitar that you don't really care about and the guitar that you don't want to be playing.
Oh my God. Of course. Yeah. My backup guitar is exactly that too. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a Frankenstein guitar.
Yeah.
Or excuse
It's
me,
literally a backup guitar.
it's
It's not a
literally a
guitar that you dream about
Frankenstein's
playing.
monster guitar. I keep
Yeah.
on forgetting that Frankenstein wasn't the actual monster.
uh, well, I'm glad that you shared those stories.
It was disgusting. Both of those stories were terrible.
Um, my story is almost same amount of embarrassment. Same similar amount, I guess.
Yeah.
But so I played in this post-hardcore band back in 2011.
Post hardcore is where you had me. I'm ready.
And it's a band that I should have never been in. A band I had no business ever being in.
Did you have a double kick pedal?
I did.
Oh my God.
So a little backstory in this band. This band called Shot Heard Around the World. And it was my best friend Lauren's brother's band. And they used to tour a bunch, and this is before I started touring. And I used to just beg them to like let me. I used to just join them on tour. I would just
Okay.
tag along and sell merch.
Just to hang out?
Yeah, just to fucking hang out with them. Because I liked them as people, and I just liked being on tour, to be honest. So
You just love being gross.
I love
Hanging out.
Yeah.
Being like fucking swamp water underwear.
Oh, there's actually one picture that I'm thinking about right now, which is in the Shat Dub van, and they used to call themselves Shat Dub because the initials are Shat Dub essentially.
Yeah.
But there's this one picture that I'm thinking of that someone took of me. I'm literally in the van, just in my underwear because the van didn't have air conditioning.
Do you mean like how when we were trying to like, were we driving in Arizona, like near Mexico, and like they pulled us over, like, and you were just sitting in the back?
Oh, when
in
we were
your
going through one
underwear?
of the border crossings.
Yeah.
Or not even a border. We weren't crossing the border.
It was like a
Going through one of
border
those-
check thing. They
Yeah,
just pull you over.
at those very illegal border checks that I fucking despise.
Yeah.
And I was completely naked in the back seat.
Yeah.
No, I would say I was more naked at the border crossing than I was in this picture.
Amazing. You have to
So-
spite those humans, those sickos that just like pull you over. You're like, what now?
Yeah. But anyway, so Shatub all of a sudden needed a drummer. And this is in the middle of a tour where they decided they were going to kick out their drummer when they got home from tour.
Oh God.
I was on the tour with them. And I was like, oh, I play drums. I might as well join your fucking band. So we get home and I join the band. And I'm in all of a sudden in this post-hardcore forever. I'd been playing in like punk bands and like pop punk bands. And all of a sudden I'm in this post-hardcore band where the drummer previously like played all this double bass stuff. And I like completely out of my world,
Yeah.
completely not something that I should be remotely involved with.
Like time signature change is bullshit.
So all of that, literally
Ugh.
all of that. So I'm in this band for like months, for like 6 months, and nothing's getting done because it's just it's a nightmare of a band, and everyone is like involved with other things, and like no one's main focus is this band that I shouldn't even be playing drums with to begin with. So
nice.
we book this literally month-long tour, and
my
at this
God.
point, this is like the fall of 2011, where I am probably the sloppiest that I've ever been as a human being.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help the fact that I should have never been playing in this band. So we get ready to go on this month-long tour, and I have in my bank account negative $256.
Oh my God, you can have negative?
Yeah. I did it.
I don't even have that much credit. Maybe I do. I've never tried, but
so this entire tour is a nightmare. The guitar, so the whole band is like a very energetic band as far as like performing, and they're all. Oh, also another thing. So I am the new drummer. We're also bringing a fill-in guitarist and a fill-in bassist.
oh my God.
So it's like not even really a band.
Yeah.
So the whole tour is just a nightmare. It was a 3.5 week tour for us. And things happened, like we played this one show in Tennessee where the guitarist jumped off of his amp and broke through the stage and broke his ankle.
What?
So had to play the rest of the tour with a broken ankle.
Ew.
And then we played a show in West Virginia where the fill-in bassist hit our singer with his bass, and we had to go to the emergency room, and he needed stitches to fucking in his eye.
Oh my God.
What else happened on that tour? We played a show in Jacksonville, Florida, where we played like a Christian center, and so we had like a guarantee, and I'm using quotation marks, for like $100, like literally just gas money.
Yeah.
And we played this Christian center in Jacksonville, Florida. And at the end of the night, they come up to us and like, I'm sorry, we actually can't pay you, but we can offer you some gum. They literally
oh my
said,
God, some fucking gum.
And we for the rest
oh
of the
my
tour,
God.
we had like 100 packs of winter fresh gum.
See, that's why you should always be happy that you have me on tour with you, because I'm like, I don't think so. And like, I'm a little bit harsh when it's like coming down to like that, but it's like, you don't make us drive here. We need at least gas money.
Well,
like I will cut you.
The Florida portion of that tour we did with this band. This band called His Name Was Iron. They were from Florida, and they had played up in Massachusetts, and that's how we met them. So we were like, all right, we're booking this tour. Do you want to play the Florida and the Georgia dates of the tour? And they're like, hell yeah. And they were like a signed band. I forget what label. And at that point, like any band that was signed to whatever record label we thought was cool.
Yeah.
So we were like,
because you didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. We're like, oh, blah, blah, blah records. Hell yeah. I love blah, blah, blah records. Well, they did the entire Warped Tour. Like they were doing stuff. So to us, that like seemed huge.
Yeah.
So they played the 3 Florida shows and the 1 Georgia show that we had. So we had a show booked in Gainesville, Florida. This whole story is.
I've only ever heard of Gainesville, Florida because of Against Me.
Oh, so when we got to Gainesville, so the drummer who had quit Against Me opened a burrito shop, like a vegan burrito shop in Gainesville, and I made everyone go there. and everyone called it Against Me Burritos because I was fucking annoying as hell about making sure everyone went there. But
Yeah.
so we were doing the short run with His Name Was Iron in the larger scheme of a giant tour that we were doing. So we were supposed to play this venue in Gainesville, Florida. I'm not going to be happy that I'm telling you this story, but this happened. So we get to the venue to load in, and this is the one show of the tour. And the night before was the gum show. So this tour was not going well at all.
Yeah.
So we get to the venue in Gainesville, and the promoter is just like, "Oh my God, can't wait for His Name Was Iron to show up. They played Warped Tour. They're signed. Blah blah blah." And we were just like, "This is the band right here. Like this is them." And the dude's like, "Oh, where's all your fans?" And the dude's like, "That's not our job. Like, did you promote the show? Did you put locals on the show?" And the promoter is like, "No, that's not how we do it. In the 80s, we used to have bands play blah, 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 blah." He literally thought that this band was going to draw people because they played Warped Tour once and because they were signed to a record label.
No.
So after, yes. So after a little bit of talk between the two bands, we decided that we were just going to cancel the show completely. And the promoter's like, "I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Like no one showed up, blah, blah, blah. Here's 2 pitchers of beer."
2 pitchers of beer.
That's
A
what we
little
got
less
paid
sad
on.
than the gum.
Story's not over. His Name Was Iron was a straight edge band, and only 2 people in the band that I was playing with drank.
Oh my God. So you went.
Oh yeah.
And?
So I drank 2 pitchers of beer.
Oh my God. No, you're going to talk about throwing up. That's why you didn't want me to.
Didn't throw up.
Okay.
Not going in the right direction, but not going in that direction. I drank 2 pitchers of beer. So they let us hang out in the venue when they decided to cancel the show.
Oh my God.
I was so mad, and at a point in my life where I guess I haven't really grown out of this anger, but I pissed all over the stage.
Oh my God.
I pissed all over the stage.
I swear.
I guess I can tell you the name of the venue because it's not really open anymore.
Fair.
It was the 1982 bar in Gainesville, Florida.
Oh my God.
It actually closed down not too long after this happened. So I'm not surprised that it closed down.
Well, like, who doesn't promote a show like
exactly
at all?
That was the part that I was so confused about. I was so mad about that.
I mean, other than that one woman in Portland who showed up like later and was like, "What the hell?" After like we were like judged heavily by that like hardcore band that didn't know how to play music.
What band? What show are you talking about?
It was like in Portland, but like in a weird part of Portland. We were like across the street from like a football field. Do you remember?
Okay, yeah. I don't.
That was terrible.
Show. Yeah, that was.
There's so many terrible shows. We could just have an entire show about.
That show's not even worth talking about.
It was yucky.
So yeah, pissed all over the stage of the 1982 bar, and then later that night we were driving back to Jacksonville to stay at the drummer of His Name Was Iron's house, and because it's only like an hour and a half from Gainesville, so we stopped to get gas, and I stole from a gas station.
Oh my God!
4 Locos.
I'm telling you now, like, boys in general are so different.
I was
with their revenge,
like back then.
Like my revenge would be totally different to yours. It wouldn't be like bodily fluid involved. I think it would just be like more like mean-spirited glares. I don't know, like.
Oh, I got enough glares in me. Sometimes you just gotta piss.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just 4 Locos from a gas station that night.
Nice. And it's also easier for dudes to just like take it out and pee. Like girls, like you get it all over your legs and shit and your shoes. It's a mess.
Yep. I was blessed with a dick.
Yeah, you can just
praise him.
pee away from your body. I can't pee away from my body. It's going to be on me.
So that is not only my worst show story, but my worst
Yeah.
tour story in general.
Yeah. Fair. Worst experience story.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm trying to think of like other than like it was weird in Las Vegas. Do you remember? It was like that show was both good and bad.
Yeah, that show was good in the sense that we both got fucking wasted.
Yes, because they just kept on giving it. I still have
so for anyone
fucking
who
drink
is
tickets are right here.
who might be listening, I don't know if anyone's gonna listen to this, but
Who knows?
JT and I played a show in Las Vegas last year,
We
and
slept outside.
so we did sleep outside because I couldn't drive anywhere.
Yeah.
We slept outside because we were both scheduled to play as the Dead Set. I was also going to play solo, and we had another opening band to make a 3-band bill.
Yeah.
So first of all, they did not start the show until like fucking 11:30 p.m.
And we got there early
that?
because
Do you remember not playing until like fucking 1 a.m.?
Yeah. The only fun thing about that was like the people were very receptive, and I was like sit on the floor, and people sat on the floor.
Well, they
I
also
was like I want to see what I can get away with here. Like
because JT and I are only a 2-piece band, and because the band that technically I was playing in was a separate band, we got like 40 drink tickets.
Yeah. They were like, you get
Between
exactly
2
the
people.
equal amount of drink tickets as these like 6 or 7. Was it 6-piece band, the other band?
No, they were a 4-piece band.
I don't even know. I just felt like
we
what's
both
happening?
had like 20 drink tickets each. So
Yeah,
I
I don't
gave them like 12.
Oh my God. Like who even needs that?
And then by the time the night was over, it was literally 3:30 in the morning.
But
So
Vegas was still going.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the
People
thing.
were partying outside of our car.
That's that venue. Oh yeah, we fell asleep with people still partying. Well,
I was like,
that venue is specifically set so that it has live music start at 12 in the morning.
That's the only thing that makes sense. Honestly, in Vancouver, if you're playing between 8:30 and 11 because then they want you the fuck out so that they can play DJ music.
Well, yeah, and Las Vegas is like, we want people playing stuff at all hours of the night.
Yep.
But yeah, we slept in the rental car that we had that night because neither of us are in any condition to be driving.
Was that pre or post break-in?
That was post break-in.
Interesting.
Yep. Happy 1 year to that.
Happy 1 year to being broken into and stolen from. Love it. Gotta love that.
All right. Let's wrap this up.
All right. Well, that's Chris. I'm JT.
Do you have anything you want to plug?
Internet.
I mean,
you can follow me on Instagram. I'm pretty boring and very inconsistent.
We'll
I'll
plug
post
your YouTube.
Yeah, like follow me on YouTube for sure because that's more consistent. Criminally vegan. I just cook most. I try. You know what? There's moments where I've had like inspiration, where I'll like plug some of my like healthy food that I eat on the regular. Then I'm like, nobody likes healthy food. And I'm like, I don't even really like healthy food.
More junk food. I want all the
junk food forever. I have another one coming up next week. But yeah, mostly vegan junk food. Yeah, Criminally Vegan on YouTube. And then follow us.
Yeah. Glass Chandeliers at Instagram.
Yeah.
There's nothing posted there yet, but there will be within the next month or 7.
Yeah. I mean, in the next month, I said we're going to do by November, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Middle November, we're going to release a new song.
We have a new song recorded, and
we're going to play a clip for you. So if you stuck around this long,
congratulations. I forgot to even mention the fact that we're going to put songs in here.
That's fine.
Did you have a song that you wanted to put in yours?
Oh yeah. So this is a song that probably one of my first songs that I actually was proud of that I wrote for Ready Set Die. It's called What's the Difference? So that a little clip of this is coming your way.
Cool.
Now.
The entire song is going to be there right now.
Oh. Well, you can hear the entire song What's the Difference?
Forgive me for feeling this. I wanna kick and scream, tell you to stop dwelling on this shit. You're better than this. I'm kinda broken down when you look away. This heart's left dead on the ground. I'm kinda broken down when you look away. This heart's left dead on the ground. I don't know what my intentions are. So what's the difference? So what's the difference? Your sight's lost so far. We hardly know who we are. So what's the difference? 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 I'm kinda broken down when you look away. This heart's left dead on the ground. I'm kinda broken down when you look away. This heart's left dead on the ground. So what's the difference when you look away? This heart's left dead on the ground. I know.
And then I'm going to play a song by Shot Heard Around the World that was never released. It's one of the only Shat Dub songs that I played on. It was a demo that I recently got from Brian Luttrell that we recorded at the end of 2011 that I think is one of the best drum tracks that I've ever played on. And that's going to be next.
then here is some new music from both Chris and I under the name Glass Chandeliers. The song is called White Lies.
We're only going to play a clip until we release the first thing, but if you like it, give us a follow. Follow us on Instagram. Follow our personal Instagrams if I ever reactivate mine, which I probably
His
will
is
if we're doing a
list
podcast.
of things I can't handle.
And JT is JT Crim, I think, something.
Crim Wolf.
Grim Wolf. Crim
There
Wolf.
you go. JT Crim Wolf. Easy.
I took a nice little long break from Instagram. And by long break, I mean it's been a week.
Which is like a fucking 1,000 years in our world.
All right. Hopefully we'll...
I couldn't be the one you just pushed aside while you were out living another life. You told me you loved me, yeah, that was just a lie. 'Cause if you loved me, then you'd be here tonight. And so
with other people. Hopefully people are listening. If you like this, we'll have Instagram up for all of this. Follow us at We Played to Nobody on Instagram. We Played to Nobody on Twitter, Facebook, all the things.
And eventually subscribe to us on whatever you can subscribe to.
Yeah. And maybe we'll do this again. Who knows?
All right. Thanks so much for listening and watching, possibly.
And I like to ride my bicycle, and everybody gets a little piece of the pie. Yeah, everybody gets a little piece of the pie. I like to go that extra mile to turn your frown into a smile. And everybody gets a little piece of the pie. Yeah, everybody gets a little piece of the pie. I enjoy speaking my mind and playing records late at night. And everybody gets a little piece of the pie. Yeah, everybody gets a little piece of the pie. I just wanna drink some whiskey and hang with good company. And everybody gets a little piece of the pie. And everybody gets a little piece of the pie. For the rest of our lives, we'll probably work for someone else. So just tonight, we are having a party. It's too much of peach and Chicago running rapidly. And everybody gets a little piece of the pie. Yeah, everybody gets a little piece of the pie. And not having to worry about crashing the house and singing. And everybody gets a little piece of the pie. Yeah, everybody gets a little piece of the pie. And access to our sense and news. Cheap booze on America. Everybody gets a little piece of the pie. Everybody gets a little piece of the pie. Simple pleasures in America. Simple pleasures in